Welcome, kings and queens. Today we are talking The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Y'all, treat yourself. This season has gotten off to a dynamic start, and I know I said that during my review of episode 1, but listen, the ladies understand the assignment. They have come in kicking doors down. They're not waiting to build us up to anything. They're not drawing anything out. The ladies understand that we are here for entertainment by way of reality television. And honey, things have popped off on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, it could just be that ice cold Jersey blood that runs through their veins, but call it what you may. I appreciate a cast that understands what the assignment is. And each and every one of them have contributed by their own way, their own personality, and their own dynamic. So kudos to you, Real Housewives of New Jersey. So this episode picks up where we left off with Dolores and Jennifer fighting. Jennifer is getting into her car with her husband, Bill. She's kind of snapping at him. She's a bit irritated, but Jennifer, calm down. It's not that serious, okay? So the cameras go back inside, and Dolores, y'all, this is so funny to me. Dolores is giving her version of what happened to the women. Look, at this point, I think if they're not careful, both Jennifer and Dolores, this is going to turn into a smear campaign. And that's not what we want. Like, we like the drama. We like for you girls to tussle and pull and fight a little bit, but let's not make it more than what it really is. Y'all fell out. Y'all don't mess with each other no more. Move on. But let's not make it a smear campaign. But this is the part where I said I was really laughing because as Dolores is talking, the cameraman is so messy. He shows us all of the women standing around in this semicircle. And I just chuckled to myself because they're all standing around like it's story time listening to Dolores rant about Jennifer. And everybody's just kind of standing there awkwardly like, okay, are we really doing this? Listen, Dolores and Jennifer, y'all just need to be friends already because both of you are giving Al Green, let's stay together. Both of you seem to really want this relationship, but you're both too stubborn to make the first attempt of mending fences. So with that being said, for those of you who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Thank y'all for hanging in there while my dogs bark at the garbage man. I appreciate my day ones. Y'all understand what I'm dealing with over here. So they kind of start to see after they move on from Dolores and Jennifer, we see that Teresa's, planning her wedding and child. Oh, that kind of money. I'm working my way up, Teresa, but Teresa's wedding, y'all, was well over $200K. All right. So at that point, when she was talking to her wedding coordinator, and I love to see it, honey, an African-American, beautiful woman of color was the wedding coordinator. Yes, girl, you better land that big role because I know you made a decent commission off of that one. So I just love to see diversity in different aspects and winning and women showing up as true bosses. So kudos to that. That was nice to actually see who her wedding coordinator was. But Teresa, at that point, when she was speaking with her coordinator, we had learned she was already over budget and it was well into the 200,000s. But let's go to Melissa and Joe. What's going on with the outside of that house? See, y'all are so busy, Teresa and Joe, worried about Teresa that you're not taking care of your yard. I'm sorry, y'all. That house, the landscaping looks horrible. Like, at least cut your yard and trim the hedges. Once again, they have, to me, no storyline. It's Teresa, 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 and I'm over it. We got to move on. Melissa and Joe, Gorga, you have got to move on. You've been pushing this in front of us, trying to push it down our throats. We don't want it. Andy Cohen, we're putting you on notice. They've got to come up with something else, because at this point, it's disgusting to hear Melissa continually come between Teresa and Joe. Those are two grown adults that happen to be siblings. Sweetheart, let them work it out. Equally disgusting, in my opinion, is Joe crying about how his sister hurt his feelings on national television. Sir, you have all those muscles. I'm going to need you to act like it, okay? You and your sister don't get along. You and your sister do not get along. It is what it is. Your wife is a huge catalyst to the breakdown in this relationship. So at this point, the door is closed. Move on, Joe, please. Let's go to Jennifer. So Jennifer, y'all, her daughter, the youngest one, is a carbon copy of her. Jennifer, you're going to get your money's worth out of that youngest daughter. She is everything that you are. And I remember a couple of seasons ago, Jennifer's mother told her that her daughter, that Jennifer behaved the same way, right? So she's just kind of getting what she put out. But anywho, Jennifer hosts like this kiddie play date, similar to what she did her first season on the show. And she invited the new girl that has blonde hair. I forgot that girl's name. I think her name is Danielle. I could be wrong. So anywho, they start talking about Dolores. They talk about the other ladies in the group as well. And then Jennifer FaceTimes Teresa for an update regarding when Teresa met with Margaret. So Teresa kept it cute. She wouldn't take the bait, and I appreciate that, Teresa. But things got very interesting, y'all, because apparently Margaret's ex-best friend, you got to watch those friends. Oh, honey, you have to watch those friends sometimes. You never know who you're seated next to. But then again, you do if you pay close attention. And I think I talked about this a long time ago on a different topic or show. Y'all, we be hanging on too long to friends that should not be friends. Hopefully we are not doing this in 2023. So that's exactly what's happening. Apparently Margaret's ex-best friend has dropped a dime regarding some gossip about the girls in the group. And at this point, Teresa and Jennifer go radio silent. They're both looking at each other with these quirky smiles, these messy smiles. You know, when you be like, girl, I ain't saying that, me neither. That's what it was giving. And I'm guessing there will be more to come regarding what the ex-best friend has shared. Let's go to Margaret. I don't like Margaret, but I like Margaret. Does that even make any sense? I think Margaret is, I don't like her, the messiness, but Margaret, I don't know. I would hang out with her. I definitely would have a margarita and go to her parties and eat her food. Yes, indeed, I would. So Margaret, if by any miraculous chance you happen to find my page on YouTube and you hear me saying this, I'm always open for an invite. So my question to y'all, is Margaret a socialite? Okay, because she seems to host a lot of events and it seems to happen every season. So I'm like, I don't know what she actually does by way of work. I know she has a personal assistant, but is she like a true socialite? So let's get into it. Margaret's having a little get together at her home with the ladies, and the food and the wine are flowing. So they start playing a game of writing down something and guessing who wrote what. So Melissa pretends to feel really bad about the discord between Teresa and her brother. Jackie then chimes in and shares that the bigger threat is Jennifer. Girl, I don't know if Jennifer's a threat or if Jennifer is just Jennifer. Jennifer's been dealing the same energy out to all of you since day one. Jennifer's not even, I'm going to say Jennifer's a flex. That's what I'm going to say. Jennifer got these girls running scared. Okay, Jennifer, they see you as a threat, but you're really just a flex. I had to pause, y'all. Every time I decide to come in here and do commentary, I have two dogs that always thinks it's time to wrestle. And you probably just heard them in the background. Please forgive me. Anywho, where was I? So they all start to pile on regarding Jennifer and Teresa. Margaret shares that she's aware that Teresa and Jennifer have met with her ex-best friend to be messy. But what she's saying is, but they don't know I know. Because the real truth of the matter is, while you busy coming for me, honey, you need to be checking your circle, because somebody in your circle really doesn't like you, Jennifer, and they're spilling everything. So I'm always knowing what the right hand is doing based on somebody inside of your camp. Okay? But Margaret, hold on. You brought it on yourself. Margaret, you brought this on yourself because you did come at both Louie and Jennifer. Not Louie. You came you came after both Jennifer's and Teresa's man. You came after Bill. You came after Louie. I don't know what you expect. Them to show up with the casserole? That's not how that works. Okay? Anywho, y'all, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, because that's what Marge is deciding to do. Woo child, imagine having a friend that's right next to you telling your enemy every single move that you plan to make. I told y'all, these girls are coming hard this season, and I'm here for it. So we move on to Dolores and her man, y'all. That's a sexy kitchen. That is a sexy kitchen that Dolores' man has in his home. And I love, love, love that wine bar. Did y'all catch that? Whoo, beautiful kitchen. And I think his name is Paul. Yeah, his name is Paul. Well, he reminds me of my husband as he's sitting here chatting with Dolores. I really like the fact that he appears to have his head on straight. When we think about the dynamics between the other men on the show, the husbands, their personalities. Evan, which is Jackie's husband, I love him, handsome guy. Between Evan and Paul, I think we have a little bit of balance, okay? Because the rest of them are batshit crazy, in my opinion. But anywho, as he's sitting there giving her advice, he reminds me of my husband. He seems to let water roll off his back. He seems to be very optimistic. He gave her great advice regarding Jennifer, and I just loved it overall, how he's pouring into her. So they received their, okay, so let's move on. So the entire cast receive their invitations to Teresa's wedding. Now, everybody else is excited. Woo, this is beautiful. So they get to Joe and Melissa. Y'all already know. Y'all already know what they do. They're ragging on Teresa yet again. Like every clip, every scene, every waking moment of their camera time is all about Teresa. Now, let me ask y'all something. Is a sister-in-law, or is there a standard where a sister-in-law is supposed to be asked to be in a wedding if she's married to your brother? Educate me. Because I don't feel like Melissa needs to be or needed to be in the wedding just because Joe is her husband. If I'm married to my husband, if he had a sister and I wasn't feeling her, she's not walking down the aisle in my wedding. Now, that could be ignorance on my part, but what are the rules, y'all? Is that how this works? I don't know why you would think that I would want you in my wedding, Melissa. And I'm speaking for Teresa as if I'm Teresa, right? Why do you think Teresa will want you in her wedding, girl? You keep her name in your mouth. You've had nothing favorable to say regarding her husband at all. And you expect to put on a dress and walk down and stand next to me? I think not. Secondly, Joe made a comment regarding the first bad seed is gone and now there's another bad seed. So he's referring to Teresa's first husband, Joe Guidice. And when he says, now we got another bad one, he's talking about Louie. Joe Gorga. If you take a second to really think about what you're saying, let me put you up on game. Have you considered that you are the common denominator? Okay. Have you considered that you are the mess? You're in the middle of all this mess. So maybe you are the problem. Now, I am a Housewives fan. There's a few that I really couldn't get into. Salt Lake City, get somebody else to do it. In Miami started off strong and then they lost me. Get somebody else to do it. But when I think about the collective franchise, y'all, I don't think the Jersey girls can dress. I think they are the worst dressed cast. Please forgive me. What do you think? They remind me of Peg Bundy. Love and Marriage. Love. Y'all remember that show? And she was married to Al. That's who they remind me of. But so they're all showing up to the new girl's home for a little luncheon. And Teresa shows up and shares that she's going to have to revamp her approach regarding her wedding because Big Mouth, Ramona Sanger, spoiled the confidentiality of the wedding by posting. I don't think she meant to do it on purpose, but whatever Ramona posted on social media, it pretty much disclosed the details of the wedding in some aspect. So Teresa's having to revamp all of that. Now, prior to Jennifer arriving, Dolores is there once again talking about Jennifer, and I'm not really feeling how Dolores continues to go on about Jennifer. Dolores, point blank period, you were not a good friend. You were not a good friend, sweetheart. So now what you're doing, opposed to apologizing and owning your shit, you are gaslighting Jennifer. You were gaslighting her, okay? So Jennifer walks into this awkward energy, and they're talking, they're getting to know each other, and we learn, that's her name, that the blonde, Danielle says she ain't really feeling Jackie. But here's where it gets interesting, because sometimes we can be catty, ladies, but Danielle really wasn't being catty, because honey, when they inserted that B-roll and showed Jackie, everything that Danielle said proves to be true. Jackie has been looking this lady up, all up inside, all up and down, looking all upside her head. Jackie, what's your problem? I think it's Danielle. It could be because you're the new blonde in town. So, but they caught Jackie on tape doing exactly what Danielle claimed that she did. Then Jennifer takes the opportunity to confront Rachel, who's another new girl with the dark hair, and says, what's up with you? That damn Jennifer is such a wild card. She said, what's up with you snapping at me? And they kind of go back and forth and talk about it. But I like how Danielle stepped in, established the point that, this is my home and let's not go there. Okay. So Big Mouth Margaret, Messy Margaret, pulls Jennifer to the side and starts loud talking her. Don't you just hate when somebody kind of, hey, can we go talk? And then want to loud talk you in front of everybody as if they're really putting you in your place? Yeah, that's the kind of show, Margaret. And Margaret, you too old for that foolishness. But that's the kind of show Margaret was putting on with Jennifer. Margaret wants to know why they met up with her ex-best friend. Margaret, really? You already know what time it is. You drew first blood. They gonna go real low on you. You came after their husbands. They gonna find out everything about you. You already know why they met with that lady. Stop it. Margaret, in my opinion, is a puppet master. You pulled her aside for what, Margaret? And then you dangle the friend card in her face. You throw on the theatrics in front of everyone and make Jennifer appear to be crazy. And then you refer to the conversation as disturbing. Margaret is a master puppet manipulator, y'all, I swear. But it starts to spill over into a full-blown confrontation. I understand why Danielle, what's Danielle's last name? This is to Margaret. Margaret, now I understand why Danielle pulled your ponytail. I get it now. Jennifer and Dolores, they continue to cry about their friendship. and go on and on and on. So basically, woo chow is what I can say. At this point, I stand 10 toes down in my belief and in my opinion that Melissa Gorga needs to go. You too worried about Teresa. Way too worried about Teresa and what Teresa has going on. But y'all, this is all I have for Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 2. I will see you soon in my review for episode number 3.